Hey guys, and welcome back to some Warhammer 3 action. I'm a rubber duck of war, but today I shall not be taken to the battlefield, which may surprise you because there are Lizardmen in action. They're actually going to be controlled by Mr. Logic up against Battlesay. Both these guys, some fantastic YouTubers, and it's Lizardmen versus Skaven. Should be a good fun scrap. Now, if we take a little look at both builds, I think there is certainly a winner of the battle kind of preparation, I suppose, and in the design of their builds, and I think it is a massive advantage to the Dino Boys because they have gone for a juicy 20 stack. We have chameleon skinks, we have chameleon stalkers, we have feral cold ones, and then just a bucket ton of javelins and Saurus warriors making up the majority of the battle line, with the skirmish and cavalry contingents once again on the right hand flank to mirror the left hand side. We also have a cohort of Sotek in the middle protecting a skink priest coming in with Flock of Doom and Manticore summon, a very old school approach there. And we have Oxyotto, who's yet to pop a Master Predator, but I'm sure he will in just a second. It's a fantastic ability all around, which you should almost always be in. It does slow him down a little bit, but having Snipe and Unspottable is crazy powerful for a sniper like the Oxy Boy himself. And I love seeing little Skinky, the Doom Skink, in action. But what I mean about the Skaven being massively behind early doors here is their build composition is hard countered by a wide Lizardmen build. So we have triple Warp Block Jezzails. Now, I don't hate this idea whatsoever. Warp Block Jezzails, fantastic against the large dinosaurs, and I see many Skaven players sit back in a defensive mode against Lizardmen because traditionally it is very good against them. But Lizardmen players don't play the big dino game anymore, particularly against Skaven as well. It's not something you see very often, and I think more Skaven players need to adapt. If you have a couple of Doom wheels in your build, for example, you bully a build like this, but sitting back defensively, it's going to be a rough fight, but certainly the Skaven player is going to have to use all his skill and guile, and he's certainly not out of it yet, just for a couple of bad picks in the early stages. So triple Warp Block Jezzails, Plague Claw Capo in the back. We have a load of Storm Vermin, actually. My god, that's really cool. But Skaven Slaves are making up the main battle line. Wolf Rats hidden in the trees. Storm Vermin guarding the flanks. Really awesome to see them in action. Unfortunately, it is just basic Clan Rats in the mid. But yeah, look at the little Storm Vermin. They're knee-deep right now in the waters of Kislev. And they're looking to bring a bit of pain to the fight. We also have double Death Runners lurking in the trees. Looks like they have been spotted, unfortunately. Explosions of fire reap through the forest here. It looks like the Death Runners are able to absorb a decent amount of that damage and shrug off a lot of it, probably due to the tree support. We then have Ikit Claw here, and Ikit is actually on his Doomflayer mount, which is hilarious. I love it. This guy's so rock and roll. Coming in with the Brass Orb, which is a really cool new animation, Unlimited Power, Warp Lightning, and the Crack's Call. Not something I've seen terribly often, actually, the Crack's Call there. We'll have to see how it goes. Now, the most important piece in this Skaven build for me is probably that Plague Claw Catapult. Like, I would sacrifice all the Warp Block Jezzails if I could just keep that Catapult firing, because it's going to be very good up against all the Skinks and Saurus. Looks like we are going to get a Lightning summoned as well. Ikit again, a little bit adventurous here, popping forward. Lovely little cast, followed up by a Brass Orb. The old 2-for-1 punch combo. Cohort of Sotek not enjoying that whatsoever. Taking big damage, and look at this little animation. It's so badass. And it looks like a lot of the cohort are only taking significant damage here, and that's no joke. They're an expensive-ish unit. Looks like Ikit was poked back a tiny bit by Oxyotto, who's still not gone into Master Predator mode for some reason. I'm sure I'll do it when he gets a little bit closer. Maybe he just wants to move up with the main army. And the Feral Cold Ones are sacrifice themselves into the Death Runners. This is a really lovely play here by the Lizardman player. It's going to allow his Skin Cohort Javelins to launch into the Death Runners and really whittle the bad boys down, though these other Feral Cold Ones going to fare significantly worse. So it looks like we've got yet another lightning coming down on them, and boom! Oh my god, the damage is disgusting. I guess they have 0 armor right now as well. I mean, 45 armor, that's not too bad, but the weakened blades coming in does make them significantly weaker to those type of shots. Skaven Slaves are actually beating back Chameleon Stalkers here somehow. It looks like because of the support of the Warp Block Jezzails. Elsewhere, Storm Vermin are bracing themselves. Now, the Skaven player is starting to push out his main battle line, which is definitely what he should do. Well, unfortunate with those Death Runners there, but they are carving a bloody path now through the little Skinkies. Death Runners definitely be getting saved, though, for the Saurus Warriors. Those thick hides and mighty shields need the Weeping Blades to penetrate. On the far side here, we have some Saurus bunching up, and it looks like they shall be punished for it. We do get a lovely little lightning come down. Skaven Slaves cheer as some of their enemies do explode in front of them, but then they realise once again they are fighting Saurus, so they're going to get ripped and torn into pieces. Looks like Saurus do raise their shields alongside the Skink cohorts. They are taking damage, though, from the Plague Claw Catapult. This unit needs to get active again and pushing into the middle. Looks like Chameleon Stalkers are still taken to the flanks, and we have Feral Cold Ones whipping all the way up and around and bomb diving through the gaps. Really lovely play there with the Clever Gells from the Dino player. Jumping on top of the Warlord Giselles, looking to tear them into itty-bitty pieces. The other unit is going to force back on top of the Plague Claw Catapult. Yet another Brass Orb goes down in the background. Unfortunately, this one wasn't quite able to connect as well as the others. Still does some decent damage, though. Saurus Warriors are taking some work there, as well as the Coatls Sotek. A well-placed Refuse to Die, though, is going to keep them in the action, which I love to see here. Clan Rats are going to move over. Lovely reflexes there by the Lizardman player to pop that ability at the right time. Very spread game here. Bounce power is slightly in favour of the Skaven player, but they are losing a lot of their backline pressure here. And it looks like the Chameleon Stalkers are going to overwhelm the slaves eventually, but it's taken them a significant amount of time. Storm Vermin are moving back. It looks like Warlord Giselles have been forced off. Plague Claw Catapult likewise is being shut down. Was only able to use about a third of its ammunition, which is a little bit of a shame there for the Skaven player. Saurus Warriors about to get absolutely thumped. I feel I can hear the lightning being summoned. The rage of the Rat 4 is upon the Saurus Warriors, who take significant casualties. Clan Rats, though, will die in droves to them. This Saurus Warrior has been like vibing for a while here. Looks like they've been caught up a little bit by a few Clan Rats, and somehow that Plague Claw Catapult was able to loose one or two more volleys into them. Weren't able to punish the immobile Saurus Warriors too much, though, there. Storm Vermin are holding out on this flank, but they're likely to get surrounded here. But that may not be the worst situation for the Skaven, who do come in with some powerful spells and abilities that Ikit Claw can bring to the battlefield to punish blob kind of areas of the battlefield. It gets up to 74 kills. Oxyotl now does have Master Predator popped, which is good to see. And I don't know what he's focusing down. Up to 43 kills. What's his value like? It looks like he hasn't been focusing Ikit. Only 100 gold value. My god, yeah. He needs to get popping some decent shots here. He's actually going to get jumped by some Skaven slaves. Perhaps accidentally going to be helping these Saurus Warriors who are about to receive a rear attack. No, it looks like the Skaven slaves just ignore Oxyotl and do get a rear attack onto the Saurus Warriors, who are now stuck between a light Sophie Pudgy place and a tin foil place, and are quite happy to carve through both of them. Looks like more lightning does come down, this time on top of the Feral Cold Ones, looking to save Ikit Claw here. Probably would have been better used on the Saurus, though, because I really think they're going to be the big threat in the latter stages of the battle here. We do get an orb go down on the Chameleon Stalkers, well placed as well. You can see this is ripping through the Chameleon Stalkers, their skin being shredded by the arcane will of the Skaven legions. We are going to get a lovely, lovely shot going down the line. Unfortunately, once again, on Skinks, not really good value. We need to see that dropping on Saurus Warriors, or kind of clumped over here instead, I think. The Storm Women are holding it down, hardcore style here. Did a fantastic job, but all of a sudden you hear the call of something the Skaven fear and dread. The Feral Cold One is alive and active, and that is dreadful news for Ikit, who's got really separated from his army. Needs to be hiding amongst these Storm Vermin here. Death Runners are carving their way through the enemy relatively well. Storm Vermin are holding the flanks, but with the Feral Manticore being summoned, Ikit is almost certainly doomed, particularly if he gets pinned in place now. He's not in the fight just yet. Some lovely magic comes down to the Saurus. They already have the low armor because of the Weeping Blades, taking significant casualties here. But if this Manticore is enabled to catch Ikit Claw, it's all over for the Skaven. They simply cannot lose their lord here. They need his air effect spells in the latter stages of the battle. Hide him amongst the Storm Vermin, hide him in the Death Runners, and pray for some kind of escape. Feral Cold One does bomb dive directly down into the Halberds, which isn't going to be a good fight, of course, for the Feral Manticore, but he doesn't care right now. Limited power does go down, but Oxyotl is finally kind of getting into action. He's been pretty out of the game the majority of the fight, but now is where he really shines, picking apart injured enemy lords super effectively here. We do get some lovely spells come down, though. The Saurus Warriors once again hit by a powerful lightning blast from the sky. They're all looking beat up, but the Skaven are looking far worse for wear right now. I think that Feral Manticore on the battlefield is going to push the bounce power more and more in favour of the Dino Boys. It does dissipate here, but I think there's another one still left in the back pocket. Storm Vermin doing an okay job, though. They are dragging down the Feral Cold Ones, and I expect them to win this fight down on this side. And Storm Vermin on the far side as well, not looking too bad. If they can amass their forces together, maybe there's hope, but looking at it, it's looking rough. There's still Skinks here. There's Saurus in the distance. Once the Lizardman player kind of remembers to reactivate these troops on the outline of the battlefield, I think it's going to be a little bit too little, kind of a little bit too much, I should say, for the Skaven resistance. Likewise, Oxyotl is in his bag right now. He is cooking. He's all of a sudden up to only 440 value, actually, so he's doing pretty pathetic value-wise, but he's starting to get in the action a little bit now. I'm poking down Ikit Claw. He has so much ammunition left as well. Honestly, he can probably take the majority of this Skaven force on his own at this point. We are going to get a Flock of Doom going down on the Death Runners just to be a metaphorical middle finger to them from the Skink Priest, and the remainder of the Skaven are trying to fight, but the little Skinkies are too much for them, overwhelming them here in the middle. I love the Chameleon Stalker play as well. It was pretty solid throughout the battle, though. It seems like their precursor weapons are either really terrible now, or they just hit a load of trees in the early stage, because they did almost no damage, and I've noticed that in some previous games as well, so I'll have to do a bit of testing on that one. Ikit Claw, man. The Skaven play of Ikit has been phenomenal. It's been real top-notch. I've really been impressed here with the little badass, up to 191 kills. I'm always going back and forth on Ikit Claw and Deathmaster Snickich on who's my favourite, and I just love them both. They're really cool units for sure. Chameleon Stalkers get run over, as do the cohorts here. Looks like they are going to break. Ikit is trying to, and in fact succeeds in getting over the 200 kill mark. Hats off to you, buddy. But Oxyotl is the Doom Skink. He shall have your head on a pike by the end of the day. And Ikit Claw is attempting to retreat here. There are some Stormvermin left, 122. But as we said before, there's like Stalkers over here. There's Sarus in the distance. There's a Skink Priest coming back as well. I think it's going to be too much, and army losses is likely to set in. And there it is. A Pyrrhic victory for the Lizardmen, though they did take significant damage there. But it was a good victory from, I believe it was Logic playing the Lizardmen there up against Battlesay Skaven, though I must admit the Skaven play was really top tier considering how poor the early mind games went of, okay, maybe my opponent's going to bring some large dinosaurs. I'm going to go for the Warp Blocks, none of which came close to paying for themselves, unfortunately, and it's such a big investment kind of lost there. So despite having such a army kind of uphill struggle here, I think they did pretty good, particularly Ikit Claw. I was very impressed. 2,000 gold value, 203 kills, lovely work there. 23k damage dealt, really impressive stuff, but nothing can stop the Skink tide here. Just the Saurus tide of death coming towards you. 20 stacks against Skaven are very, very popular, and I do think more Skaven players need to kind of react to this now a little bit more, and come with these like Doom Wheels and so on to overwhelm units like this, because you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a load of javelins, a load of blowpipes, and just a really wide force. And I think the Catapults did a decent job as well. They're not going to get massive value here, but 136 kills helps out. You need to try and kill the chaff as quickly as possible to surround the more elite units. Oxyotl, unfortunately, had a really bad day. I mean, he had a great day because he won, but he didn't really do any value. But he had a load of ammunition left at the end, so I'm sure if the battle continued, he probably would have got closer to his estimation in gold cost. He's a very fun unit to use in general. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up, and if you fancy it as well, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively, and you can comment down below what you thought of the battle, or you'd like to see in the future, or simply yell quack. There's also a load of links down below to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. I'm looking to do some more Twitch streams soon. My time is unfortunately very short at the moment. I basically have 2 days a week to do all my YouTube stuff now, because I started a new job, which I'm enjoying a lot though. It's been a lot of fun. I'm actually streaming some games from my job, which would be pretty cool in the future. But anyway, until then, guys, we'll see you soon, and as always, stay awesome.